The Chateau Laurier's intimate relationship with Parliament goes all the way back to the hotel's founding in 1912. Situated atop the banks of the Ottawa River and overlooking the Rideau Canal, it sits prominent over all of downtown Ottawa. I see it every morning on the way to my office, and it's one of the most recognizable hotels in Canada. It was the first of the Grand Hotels constructed by the Grand Trunk Pacific Railway Company, the same firm that built the Royal York Hotel in Toronto and the Chateau Frontenac in Quebec City. This great string of hotels was meant to convey international tourists across the country in style. Charles Hayes, who originally designed the concept, was arriving on the Titanic for the opening when the great ship went down. The CBC were tenants on the upper floors for years, and some of the most famous individuals in the world stayed in the great suites of the hotel. Queen Elizabeth, Winston Churchill, and the great Joseph Karsh were among them. In its grand hallways, restaurants, and ballrooms, some of the greatest developments in Canada were deliberated. Today, the Chateau is undergoing a significant renovation, and it will continue to be one of the favorite destinations of parliamentarians, famous individuals, and tourists everywhere for years to come. Visit it when you're in Ottawa. Better yet, stay for a night or two if you want to get the real feel for the city itself. I love the place. All right, everyone, this is Sean Billing. Sean Billing is a former Londoner, but he also helped to direct the Norfolk in Nairobi, which is where we often say we come. Sean, you've agreed to give us a tour through the Chateau. I really appreciate it. What's your exact title?
I'm the Director of Operations here at the Chateau.
And a very good one at that, too. Where are we now?
We're in the Karsh Suite, which commemorates Estrelita and Yusuf Karsh, Yusuf the famous photographer, who lived in the hotel, had a studio in the hotel on the 6th floor, and this was actually their apartment while they were with us. And they were kind enough to keep many of the pieces and donate many of the original photographs that Yusuf had done, and we've turned this into a suite to commemorate that relationship.
Wow, that's great.
So you'll see there's a great shot actually of Estrelita and Yusuf right here on the wall. Estrelita still comes two or three times a year. She'll be here in the new year.
Really?
And she comes every spring as well. And each time she comes, she brings us another little treasure that we can use for this particular
And how old is she?
Estrelita would be in her 70s now.
Okay.
She was a fair bit younger than Yusuf when they got married.
This is beautiful.
So you've got a shot of Ernest Hemingway. I mean, so many of the people that that Yusuf shot during his career are so. What the right word is, but so incredibly captured in the way that he shot photographs. So it's just Barbara Ann Scott is over in the dining room of this particular suite.
I remember his picture of Churchill.
Yeah, fantastic shot of Churchill. We've got Einstein down in the lobby, which is a terrific shot. This was something new that came last year. This was the original, it's a crystal chandelier that Estrelita brought out of storage to put back in the suite. Wow. Because it was something that had been in here, not actually located there, but it's something that had been in here for years.
So this is the dining room?
This is the dining room. And we've got some of those china gifts were a gift, and it escapes me who gave them to her, but she's donated them to us, and they were a gift in payment for some photographs taken by some local folks. Grey Owl is right here.
Yes, I remember that picture very well.
Yeah, it's a great shot. Let me just get the lights.
And how long did they stay? Did he stay here, Sean?
They were at the Chateau for over 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so they were our longest time residents. This was the little kitchen that was in here. It's been changed since the time that they actually lived here. This old fridge is terrific. All four of our presidential suites have this system. It runs off of one compressor all the way up through the building. I think
so one on each floor, directly one above the other.
There's one on each floor in each of these presidential suites, and they're just fantastic. Little interesting story about the floor. It's actually made of leather. And so each one of the presidential suites has a leather floor of a different makeup.
Wow.
Heritage pieces we've got. I think this is great. This goes back to the 1930s when this wing was built, and that's the original spa shower. Still functions, so not as fancy as what you might see today, but it works very, very well. You need a degree though to figure out how to work the levers tabs. Yeah,
reminds me a bit of Europe, actually.
Yes, exactly. Beautiful. This was originally called the drawing room. Now there's a drawing room now that's a meeting room. Yeah. But this was originally called the drawing room when
Wow.
when it was created. The woodwork in here is spectacular.
It's dark and very warm. Yeah, it's great.
So this is, I really like this because this sort of appeals to me. I like hanging out in dark pubs and bars. So this appeals to me a great deal.
Beautiful.
So it's a beautiful old suite. The wallpaper that's in here,
wow,
was wallpaper that was not originally in this suite, but it had been resident in the hotel for a long time, and we were able to put it up here.
What a beautiful room. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular.
Colors everywhere. It's really great. So this is the pantry, and you're saying that this too is a leather floor.
This too, oh yeah. There's 4 floors in the hotel that are leather.
Yeah.
And that's one of them. And then you've got the same
fridges.
The same refrigerator as what we have on the other floor. Well, these 2 suites on the corner happen to be on our gold floor, but for my money, this is the room I like to stay in when I do get the pleasure of staying in the hotel, which isn't as often as people probably think.
Yeah.
But when there is an opportunity and I need to be here, I love it when 496 is available. Again, this is a suite that we're going to spend some time theming. It doesn't have a name right now.
And why? Just because of the arrangement of the suite, or did somebody important stay here?
Well, many people have important have stayed here. In fact, this is where people recently, like Hillary Clinton, have stayed, and others like that. So it has tremendous history because of its setup and its size, and it's a bright area. It just happens to be the room that I really think has a lot of character. It has one of the turrets. Not all the room on the corners have a turret, but that has a nice little turret to sit and read a book in. That's what my wife loves to do. Yeah. And it has probably one of the most spectacular views out over Majors Hill Park and across the river and into Gatineau.
Yeah. Be a little bright for the camera here. But lots of snow today, Sean.
A tremendous amount of snow in Ottawa. That's good for the ski hills. We're happy.
That's the American Embassy, so maybe that's partly why Hillary gets this view.
Exactly.
National Art Gallery, it's great.
So this is really, I just really like the setup of this particular suite. Just a set of essentially French-style doors that lead you into the bedroom.
It's also quite bright, which is nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very floor right now. It used to be occupied as CBC Radio's studios, both English and French.
I was up here during that time, I remember. Yeah.
And so they departed at the end of 2005 and moved to Spark Street. And since that time, this space has been vacant. So we've been looking for the best and highest use of this space since that time, and through a change of ownership in the hotel. And now what has happened is the old studio spaces have all been cleared out, and we will have tenants up here, commercial tenants.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I know we have one deal signed here. We're with a memorandum of understanding for this particular side, and then once those are done, then the tenant fit up will begin. So there'll be life back on the 7th and 8th floors. Good to know.
All right, what's this, Sean?
Well, we're over on the other side of the 7th floor. Again, this was where this section was where all the offices for CBC were. And it's all right now, as you can see, being newly converted to office space. Yeah. So we're really delighted to have a new tenant coming in there. And this is the original section of the hotel. So this is the part that was built in 1912. The section we were just in was built in 1929, 1930.
I see.
So you can see this is original brick that was in the south tower.
My goodness. Yeah.
And so as we've been able to go through, we've seen a lot of the original I-beams. There's some great old galvanized steel tanks that were the original water tanks from gravity feed days that are over in the corner and up above us. So it's been really interesting to sort of uncover some of these bits and pieces that have been covered up over time.
Good morning.
Now, the reason I wanted to bring you up here is just to show you this hasn't been converted yet, but what you see is one of the old CBC studios.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I don't think this is the studio I was in, but that's quite a window out there.
That's a great window. Yeah. That would overlook the market.
Yeah.
And so you can see this is what the whole 7th and 8th floor looked like. There were offices sprinkled around a series of studios of various sizes.
Just to show you how wild the CBC was.
That's right.
This is the wallpaper.
Circa 1972.
I was just going to say the 70s. Oh, well. Now, Sean, part of the reason why the chateau is important to Parliament is that It seems like almost every night there are big receptions here, right? Various groups come in, hold these receptions, parliamentarians come over.
Absolutely.
So you must get a lot of business driving it that way as well.
We do. No, we get a tremendous amount of business, and the relationship, between parliamentarians and the
pretty
hotel
good,
goes back a long way. So we're delighted to contribute in any way we can. It's a little bit of the history of the hotel.
Okay, so what's happening here, Sean?
Well, we're on the 9th floor. There's only one more floor above us, and that's where a lot of the water systems are.
Yeah.
So this is the best view on Canada Day.
Very good. Let's go. That's great. Oh my goodness! Look at this.
So not the best day for us to be out here, but
I like this snow.
Spectacular view.
Over there's Parliament. Look at this. The river, and you're doing all sorts of replacing. Is it the copper roof up here?
It's the copper, yeah. So this is the last section to be done. The scaffolding comes down next week, and we'll have copper for another 60 years on that side.